Hello, good morning, Redefining Widowhood. This is Carmen Andrea Harris, certified grief counselor, certified life coach, and founder of redefiningwidowhood.com. You can learn more about me by going to the website. You can learn about the products and services that I offer as a professional grief counselor and life coach. So welcome to those of you who will be catching this on the replay, which will be the majority of you, I am sure, because it's 9:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I don't typically go live this early. However, I am up, ready to start this fresh new month. I've gotten my workout in, which working out and physical fitness is a total healing hack for those of you who are wanting to find different ways to heal on your journey of widowhood. So enough about that. I'm going to get into the broadcast. And if you're watching this on the replay, I want you to hashtag replay and let me know where you are tuning in from and how far out you are on the journey of widowhood, or if you are not a widow, however, you're connected to this Redefining Widowhood community by way of another type of death or loss that you've experienced. I want you to share that with me as well. So in this video, I just want to reflect on yesterday. Yesterday was the day that we acknowledged the sacrifice that Jesus did for all of us. He gave his life for us. He died for us. And he didn't just die and stay there and stay in the grave. He actually conquered death, hell, and the grave, and he ascended to the right hand of the Father. For a very specific purpose, so that we would have life, so that we would have it more abundantly, so that we would have eternal life when we left this earthly realm. But also while we're here in this earthly realm, there's a very specific reason why Jesus gave his life for us. So yesterday, while I was at church and just really reflecting on that, I think a lot of times as believers, we know and we say, oh, Jesus died for us, and we kind of leave it at that, but we don't really think deeply about the fact that he was a real human. I mean, he was part God, part human, but he had a human experience, and he died and gave his life for us. And I was just reflecting on that yesterday in church service. And I also took it a little bit deeper, because those of you who may be familiar with the prophetic is literally communicating the mind and the heart of God. So I am very familiar with the prophetic. I hear the Lord very clearly. I see visions, dreams, all of that. I also am a part of different communities of prophetic people as well. So as I was reflecting on Jesus's sacrifice for me yesterday on Resurrection Sunday, I got emotional and I started thinking about two very specific prophetic words that I received early in my widowhood journey. I remember one time I wasn't even a year out on my journey of widowhood, and I was amongst other prophetic people and prophets, and the word of the Lord went forth, and I specifically received two words that were specific to Jesus and his life and him dying for my calling and my purpose. And I just want to reflect on those words, and I'm going somewhere with this message. So I want to read the words. So the first word, and I may not read it in its entirety, but the first word, or I will, I'm going to be fully transparent with y'all. And this is from my book, From Chaos to Clarity. So the first prophetic word, it says, and the first one is from a woman who neither one of these people knew me. They didn't know me. They didn't know I was widowed. They didn't know any of that. Okay. So the first word says, the word that I heard, Carmen, is that it's like you're fleecing the Lord. It's almost like a procrastination tactic that you're using. And God says that I've told you who you are. I have sent confirmation on more than one occasion. Will you begin to walk? Will you begin to believe that I said that you are who it is that I said? It does not matter what they said about you. It does not matter how many times you failed. It doesn't matter how much sin you found yourself in. I hear the Lord say, go and be who it is that I've called you to be. He said, and this is the part that I was reflecting on yesterday that just really pricked me in my heart. The Lord said, my son died for you and your purpose, that you would be able to live and that you would be able to speak and that you would be able to take the thing that he has put inside of you and begin to allow it to manifest inside of the people. I hear the Lord say that he has given you a voice and an ear to hear, but still yet you go and ask other people, what should I do? Who shall I go to? God says, when will you rely on me? Because I am the source. I can continue to give you word. I can continue to give you confirmation. But at the end of the day, I am the source for you. Quit running to so many people. The problem is that you are fleecing. And if you would just sit before me, you would hear my word. You would hear my command. You would hear my direction. And I can put you at ease. Not a man, not somebody, not any other entity. God says, I can put you at ease. He said, I've called you to this, daughter. Fear not. What I have said about you is absolute, and there is nothing that you can do to cause that thing to be aborted. There is nothing that you can do. I hear the Lord saying, get up. When they began to talk about taking up your bed and walk, that word was for you. And many of you listening to this word is for you to pick up your bed and walk. Take up your bed and walk. This is not the season for you to continue to try to figure it out. God says, I haven't laid the whole plan out to you, but if you would begin to take the steps, you will see me begin to reveal myself to you, reveal the plan to you. It's scary for you walking blind, but God says, if you can trust me, I won't deceive you. I won't. I hear him saying that there have been times that you've seen things that seem to be contrary to your purpose, and it seemed to place you in a place of confusion. But God says, no matter what you've seen, the word over your life has not changed. And then she went on to give me some prophetic instructions. That was the first word. And this was less than a year after my husband died. So imagine me getting this prophetic word. And I felt like the Lord was fussing at me. I was like, well, I haven't even been widowed for a year, God. Like I still have a right to sit and to soak and to figure it out. This was, around the time when I had first started doing the videos on YouTube, but it was more of me expressing what a mess my life was. So I felt like I had full right to just sit in my grief and to, do videos when I felt like it and to not pour into the people, so to speak. But that word was a very, in my opinion, it was a harsh word. And I remember saying to God, God, are you mad at me? Because in my mind, I'm like, I haven't even been widowed for a year. Like, why are you fussing at me? Are you mad at me? And all I heard the voice of the Lord say was, I love you. So through that word, I realized that there was purpose in what I was doing, that there were people who were depending on me. And yes, I was walking out my own personal grief and healing journey, but that didn't negate that God had a very specific calling and purpose over my life. And it didn't negate that Jesus died for my calling and for my purpose. And so that I would be able to take the thing that is on the inside of me, that God placed on the inside of me, and allow it to be able to manifest inside of the people. And a lot of you who are connected to me and feel a connection to me, you are called in this way as well. However, you're letting grief get the best of you. You're letting the past and memories of what was and what will never be again kind of stop you in your tracks. The second prophetic word, and this was from a gentleman who was on the call, a prophet as well, who was on the call. And again, he did not know me. He did not know that I was widowed. He did not know that I was in the beginning stages of redefining widowhood and walking the journey out and realizing that, hey, there's a purpose to me hitting record on YouTube. So the second prophetic word, it says, and Carmen, I hear the Lord saying, I've called you to be them that loose the grave clothes. This made me think about Lazarus, when Jesus went to Lazarus and he commanded the grave clothes to loose Lazarus and to call him up out of the grave. And Carmen, I hear the Lord saying, I've called you to be them that loose the grave clothes. God is going to send you to a people that have come out of things, they have come out of situations, and they have survived the trauma of the situation, but they're still wrapped in grave clothes. They're still wrapped in the trauma. They're still wrapped in the pity of it. They are still wrapped in the sadness of it. Specifically, Carmen, as it relates to grief. And that is a big word. God is saying that you've got to teach them how to grieve. Again, this was a gentleman who had no idea that I was widowed. He had no idea that I was doing videos on YouTube about grief. So I said all of that to say yesterday when I was reflecting on Jesus, his sacrifice, I really was thinking about how Jesus died for me to be able to pour into other people, to be able to encourage people, to be able to call people out of the proverbial grave that they are in. And a lot of you who are watching me, you are stuck in the proverbial grave that your late husband is in, and God is wanting you to come up out of the grave and do what it is that he has called you to do. A lot of you feel a connection to me. A lot of you were called to ministry before your husband died, and you are aware of the fact that you were called to ministry, that you were called to entrepreneurship, that you're called to business. Unlike me, I did not know that I had a ministry calling on my life until after my husband died. I did know before he died that I was called to coach women, because I would always have women in my inbox on Facebook telling me all of their business, asking me there for advice, and I would give them advice, and I would essentially be coaching them for free. So when I was reflecting yesterday, even though I have Redefining Widowhood, I have the Instagram and the YouTube, I was just thinking about how even in my personal journey, I have only scratched the surface of what I know it is that I'm supposed to be doing. And for those of you who are watching me, for those of you who will catch this on the replay, who feel connected to me, some of you are stuck, but God is wanting you to get up, to pick up your bed and walk, to get out of the grave and to move forward in what he has called you to do. Jesus did not die for you to stay stuck in your grief, okay? I'm not talking to those of you who are just fresh on this journey and you don't know if you're coming or going. I'm talking to those of you who have been on this journey for years and you're still stuck. You're still wrapped in the pity of what you went through, but you know for a fact that you should have started the business. You know for a fact that you should have started the YouTube channel. You know for a fact that you should have started the community. You should have written the book. You should have done what it is that you know you're supposed to be doing. However, you have let your grief just envelop you and keep you stuck. And then some of you, you know what you're supposed to be doing, you just need the help. You don't know what the first step is. So now I am going to step into my professional space of a certified grief counselor and a certified life coach. And for those of you who connect with and resonate with what I'm saying, I'm going to invite you to coach with me, to counsel with me, okay? You don't have to go through a full program with me. For this month, I have set up to where you can schedule a 50-minute call with me, whether it's a 50-minute widow to widow chat, whether it's a 50-minute grief counseling call, or whether it's a 50-minute coaching call, because I realize that there are a lot of you who are stuck and you don't know how to move forward, but you know that God did not intend for you to die with your late husband. He didn't intend for you to die with the death or the loss that you experienced, but you're stagnant, you're stuck, you don't know how to move forward, but you know that you need to move forward and you're supposed to move forward and you need help moving forward. So I am positioning myself. Now, yes, I can minister to you all day and, and just really serve you right where you're at. But this is for those of you who are ready to come up higher, who are ready to pick up your bed and walk, who want to go beyond an encouraging word or a word of, ministry, and you want to actually get to work doing what it is that you know that you're supposed to be doing. Because what I realized with the word that I received less than a year after my husband died is that, yes, I was hurt, I was grieving, I couldn't believe that the Lord allowed my husband to die, but I realized that because I still have a pulse, I still have a purpose, and God wants his purpose to go forth. And when I stand before the Lord, and when you stand before the Lord in 100% spiritual form, he's going to ask you, did you do what I called you to do? You're not going to be able to say, well, my husband died and I just couldn't do it anymore, I couldn't move forward. Like, he's going to want to know, did you do what I called you to do? And he puts people in place to help you to do that. Yes, you know, we believe on Jesus 100%, but Jesus operates through people in the earth. He operates through grief counselors and life coaches and consultants and all of that. So for those of you who resonate with this message, I am inviting you to coach with me and to counsel with me, okay? You can go to my website, redefiningwidowhood.com, click on the link that says Widow Chat, and it's going to show you the different options that I have available that you can work with me. Again, I'm speaking to those of you who are ready to come up higher, those of you who are ready to not just stay stuck and stagnant, okay? You can look at my journey. I started this journey just ranting and venting, but I have grown over the years, and I'm not a person who stays stagnant or stays stuck in the things that happen to me. I'm a very ambitious woman. I was that way before my husband died, and that was not lost on me after he died. And I know those of you who connect with me and resonate with me, you're the same way. You just may be needing help, and you may want the help, because again, there's a difference between what you need and what you want. Okay, so for those of you who want help, I am here. I have put out the invitation. If you're catching this on the replay, hashtag replay, let me know where you're tuning in from. And I want you to go ahead and go to redefiningwidowhood.com, schedule your widow chat, your grief counseling call, or your inner healing and wellness coaching call. So thank you for those of you who hung out with me live. Thank you for those of you who engaged and liked the video. I appreciate it. And I will see you all on the next video. Peace and blessings. Oh, before I go, if anybody has any questions, I'll wait a few seconds. I don't want to just do a hit and run. If anybody has any questions about any services or about the journey, about grief, about healing, I'm going to wait a couple of moments and then I'm going to get off. And I realize that the video could be delayed, so I'm going to wait like a minute and a half, 2 minutes to see. Or maybe less, because I see the numbers going down. All right. So I don't think you all have any questions just by way of the numbers going down. If you do, you can put it in the comments. And again, you can go to redefiningwidowhood.com to schedule your chat or your grief counseling call. And for those of you who are not necessarily ready or in a position to schedule your call, when you go to the website, if you subscribe to my email list, you'll actually get my Right to Heal 3-day healing challenge. So you can get that as well. So I'll see you all on the next video. Peace.